Have a listen to this. Have a listen to this.
Interest rates are higher. I know people don't like that, but you should be welcoming the stronger economy.
And maybe a deal has a point about the machinery of capitalism being oiled with the blood of the workers.
The United States is a country that has always paid all of its bills.
Lannister always pays his debts.
Don't let the bastards get you.
Hello and welcome to Comedian versus Economist. My name's Adam and we're joined as always by my little older brother and real life economist, Thomas. Hi, Thomas.
Yeah, g'day Adam. How you going?
Good. Each week we bring you the proverbial mullet of finance podcasts, business at the front, party at the back. And we are back for 2025. It's great to have your company, whether you're a long-time listener or tuning in for the first time. It's great to have you here. And what a year 2025 is already. Trump is back, stocks are up, woke is dead, and Thomas, you've still got that ridiculous hipster beard. What's going on? I see I'm anti-woke now. Trump has empowered us all to call this kind of thing out, Thomas. No longer do I have to put up with this beard. It has no utility. It's not a store of value unless you've been eating chips. It is, for all intents and purposes, Thomas, the meme coin of facial hair.
Oh, hey, come on. I'm standing by my guns. I'm calling it the DEI beard.
It's your back and sides now, Thomas. That's the era we're going into. Ironically, I guess under Trump, meme coins are flying. Off to a good start. As always, we're looking at charts. If you want to follow along, you'll find them on Facebook and Instagram at CVE Podcast, as well as on the CVE page of the Equity Mates website, equitymates.com/CVE. Thomas, beards aside, massive show coming up to kick us off. The Magnificent Seven are popping off like fine champagne, very, very bubbly. Young people are optimistic about the financial outlook. What does that tell us about old people? And you might have received some rubbish gifts for Christmas, but it's nothing compared to the rubbish gifts that North Korea are sending South Korea. More on that later. But first, Thomas, us poor homeowners have to keep paying higher rates because too many people have jobs. How can people be so selfish?
Yes. Yeah, cool. Thank you, Adam, for that great introduction. It's great to be back. Looking forward to another year of this.
Of this, whatever this is.
Whatever this is, yeah. Well, I mean, we're talking today. Yesterday, inflation data came out softer than expected. Inflation's been tracking below the RBA's forecast for a few months now. So that's getting everyone excited about rate cuts. CBA for a few months have been calling for the first rate cut in February. After yesterday's numbers, pretty much all the banks rolled over and are now saying February is going to be the first cut.
Right.
So
this doesn't bode well for my big call last year, which said no rate cuts in 2025.
Yeah.
Now we're talking of February.
That was always an outlier view. Yeah. No, rate cuts were always coming. Like, I mean, the economic data has generally been calling for a rate cut for about 4 or 5 months. So the inflation data is below projections, below the RBA's forecast. GDP data is below the RBA's forecast. Wages are below the RBA's forecast. So it's all looking pretty soft. But the only exception is the unemployment rate, which is also below the RBA's forecast. But you kind of want that to be above the RBA's forecast to trigger a rate cut.
Right.
So it's just the jobs market has just been surprisingly strong and just blindingly strong. Like it's just strong across the board. We had 56,000 jobs in December. All of them, pretty much all of them full-time. So full-time jobs growth is growing really strongly. Sometimes, you get part-time jobs growth, so it's not as strong as it looks, but it's all full-time, so it's all awesome. The participation rates continues to march onto record highs. So there's more people participating in the labour force than ever.
Right.
It's just not, yeah.
Where are the jobs coming from? Who's making all these jobs?
Well, this is sort of the interesting thing, and probably the fly in the ointment is that it continues to be driven by the public sector. Right. So I forget who it was here. Some crew, some other economists. Shout out to the other economists.
Keep up the good work, other economists.
Appreciate the charts you've got here. They said over the past 2 years, 87% of jobs growth has come from the public sector.
Wow.
So that's
huge.
That's bananas. Yeah. Is
this just Albo heading into an election year, just going, we need more jobs? It's going to look good if I create some jobs for people. We're going to need 3 people on flag duties at Parliament House. We've got the up guy. We need someone to do the down on the flag. We're going to need like a half-mast specialist occasionally.
That's what your ex-girlfriend used to call you.
Half-mast specialist. Who wants chocolate? I've got half a bar. Oh dear, the toad suffered already in 2025.
Going in a new direction. No, I don't think it's a specific choice. Like, it's not a sort of cyclical strategic choice. I think some of it comes out of the COVID spending hangover. So there's a huge amount of spending post-COVID, and that created a lot of jobs. You also got the NDIS, which continues to create a lot of jobs. Yeah, so I think it's more that rather than going like, election year's coming, let's pump it up.
And I guess he wouldn't want to anyway, would he? Because if the unemployment rate is the thing that's keeping rates higher, like he would benefit more from rates coming down, right? Like if there's a rate cut or two before the election, that's gonna bode well for Albanese.
It's certainly going to help. Yeah, I mean, if we get a rate cut in February, it does change the political calculus a bit. You know, it's like 50-50 at the moment in the polls between them. Rate cuts you'd think would have to favour Albanese. And, you know, maybe gets lucky, might be able to squeeze 2 in before the election.
Yeah.
April 12th is the front-running date for the election now. On your birthday.
April 12th? Hey, my birthday. Nice.
Yeah. You're like, why is that date familiar?
An election, just like the least attractive of all possible birthday gifts I could get excited about. All right, Thomas, stocks generally up across the board, but the Magnificent Seven, the big tech stocks in the US, they are something else.
Yeah.
What's going on with them?
Oh, they're a force to be reckoned with. I mean, it is out of control. So, yeah, the market's been pumping along, but it's almost entirely on the Mag 7. I think I saw a chart saying that over the past 12 months, if you take out the Mag 7, the S&P 500's down like 12%.
Yeah, right.
So it's just the Mag 7 just carrying the market. And they've just gone on to like insane market caps. So saying like the US market now accounts for 75% of the global market cap. So
is that a problem? Is that bad?
It doesn't create any problems in and of itself, other than just being like, well, how long can that last? Like, how long can the American market be worth 3/4 of the global market, and every other market, Germany, UK, Australia, I suppose it's pretty small, Japan, China, worth 25%.
Thanks for including Australia.
Yeah.
We're playing too. Yeah, I don't know. Does it matter where the companies are based? Does it, like, if the companies are being productive, I guess it's good for the US because they're, although they're probably all financed in other jurisdictions for tax purposes.
Yeah. Ireland.
Yeah,
that's right. Like, it's not a problem in and of itself. Like that, if it's 75% of the global market cap, that doesn't create any problems.
Yeah, it's
more just saying it's just so unusual, and it points to just how much the Mag 7 have been driving the market. Because it's all that lift is all due to the Mag 7.
It creates risk, I guess, too, because they're all similar. They're all similar stocks, right? Like it's Facebook, Amazon,
Pretty
Apple,
similar.
Microsoft, Google, Nvidia, and Tesla. And they're all playing in the same space, more or less.
And they're all riding the AI boom.
Yeah.
Those valuations reflect the idea that AI is launching and it's going to create streams of profits. And these 7 companies are well placed to capitalize on that stream of profits. And so that's what we've got. So it's all, that Mag 7, like if anything is going to affect one of them, it's going to affect all of them. It's kind of hard to see one of them crashing without all of them crashing.
Yeah. Which would be bad news. I mean, we saw Nvidia drop 17% in one day.
17%. Yeah, just 56 billion off the market cap.
And then it was back up 7% the next day. Like, these are not the kind of I feel like they're not the rock solid stability that we want at the core of the stock market.
No, not like that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, and people are starting to call this out, like your Howard Marx's, your Albert Edwards. They're sort of saying like this is like the market. The current market is built on the idea that AI is going to create a huge boom, and these 7 American companies are just going to ride that boom to heaps of profits.
Yeah,
and that idea, you know, maybe it's true, but it's kind of unknowable. There's a lot of guesswork in that. Just to say that idea is true. And that's why when you had China launch its DeepSeek, well, government didn't launch it, but the Chinese version, DeepSeek, launched, and people were like, yeah, we just built ChatGPT just out of some chips we had lying around because we're not allowed to buy modern chips.
To make cartons and duct tape, MacGyver style.
Yeah. We just pulled apart a few toasters and just built ChatGPT, and now it's free for everybody.
Yeah.
That's what rock markets. People are like, oh, okay, maybe it's not. Well, maybe the AI boom is coming, but maybe it's not all American companies that are going to dominate the space. Maybe the Chinese players are going to get involved. Maybe the Europeans, who knows? Like the idea that it's all going to go to these 7 companies is that sort of was what sort of shook markets a bit.
So is it a bubble? Like, can it be a bubble until it pops? Or like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you never know until hindsight, really. I mean, a lot of people call it at the time, but yeah, I mean, it's always the case that the future is unknowable, and the stock prices reflect a view of the future. And if the view of the future is everything's going up and it's all going to be awesome, then prices are rational. If it's just based on hope, then it's not rational and it's a bubble. And
maybe we just need to add a few more stocks to the Magnificent Seven to make it a bit less kind of concentrated. Make it like the sensible 12. That'll bring the overall kind of, it'll smooth out the curve, the upward trajectory if you add in a few duds in there. I mean, good idea. All right, let's take a break here, grab a word from this week's sponsor. Hey, why not use this break to dive into your phone, just pick any contact, send them a message. Go, hey, I'm listening to CVE right now. It's great. It's amazing. You should totally listen to it. That would help us out a lot. We'll be back with more Comedian versus Economist right after this. Welcome back here on Comedian versus Economist, and we are ripping through the first episode for 2025, Thomas. Young people, optimistic, I hear. I thought it was all doom and gloom for young people these days. You're telling me they're optimistic?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this is an interesting one. So UBS has come out with some analysis, and I think they've done their own survey. And basically they're looking at people aged 18 to 34 and asking them about their financial outlook for the next 12 months. Are you optimistic, neutral, or negative? And young people are pretty positive. Right. So 65+% saying that the outlook for the next 12 months is positive. And that's more than the general population. General population is just over 50%.
All right.
So it's interesting. It's an unusual result because we know that younger people have been doing it tough, particularly with the spending data. So CBA has spending data that look at what's happening in the accounts by age. And young people have been reining it in. Like they've really been crunched, and their spending's going backwards and their savings are going backwards. Whereas for boomers and the people at the older generations, they're both spending is increasing and their savings are increasing. So young people have had the raw end of the stick.
How are boomers increasing their savings? Like they don't have income, right? I mean, typically they're retired, so
higher interest rates. Okay.
Because
their savings accounts,
right?
So higher interest rates,
right? And because they're not spending, or they are spending. No, but they can't be.
They're spending more.
So they're spending more, and they're also saving more without any income.
Yeah,
I feel like they're running some Ponzi scheme. Some sort of boomer Ponzi we're all missing out on.
Yeah. I mean, it's interest rates go into like cash balances, get more return on the cash balances, and then yields on stocks follow interest rates. So they start paying more once interest rates go up. So they do well with higher interest rates.
Right.
And so they've saved some of that and spent some of that. So, going up.
And for young people, it's the opposite. Their savings are going down and their spendings are going down.
spending's going down because they're getting hit by rising rents or rising mortgage payments, and so that they've got less money to play with, and so they're cutting back.
Right.
On both.
Huh.
Yeah. So it's an interesting. It's an unusual result in that sense. And UBS say it sort of comes down to, they have one chart which looks at cost of living pressures and saying that on most of the measures in the CPI basket, well, in the handful that they look at, the significant ones, the younger people, 18 to 34, are facing less pressure. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how this is calculated. They're saying so food prices for the overall population are up 80% over the. What is that from? I don't know. It must be the last 2 years or something, or since COVID. It doesn't
I feel
say
like you might need to prepare slightly better for these shows, Thomas.
Yeah. Hey, I got that it's UBS. Shout out to UBS. Thanks for the charts. Yeah. So for all respondents, it's up 80%. For young people, it's up just over 60%, and that's the food category. So they must be looking at what young people are spending their food on. But part of me thinks well, isn't that just young people just not having the caviar that the boomers are eating? Yeah,
and not buying the premium brands. If I was when I was in a share house or whatever, we weren't buying premium anything. It was
no.
Not even the brand name 2-minute noodles. You'd get it.
Yeah, and they say that for fuel and health, it's about equal. But it's part of me thinks it must be what they're choosing to spend it on, and maybe there's just less inflation in your home brand items than in your premium ones, and that's why that's there.
But we buy those things too. If we took out mortgages and rent from the equation. What am I spending on that young people? And I still struggle with the concept that I'm not young anymore.
Hair replacement therapy. Probably.
Yeah, you got no issues with that, have you, beard boy? I mean, kids obviously is a big one. I've got kids young, 18 to 34, maybe much fewer kids in that age bracket.
Yeah.
Or maybe we just reached the tipping point with the dream of home ownership is now so far out of reach that all these young people who were saving a deposit have just finally gone, you know what, screw it. I've got this kind of war chest of savings that I was going to put towards a home, but it's clear now that I'm never going to get there. You know what, let's just live it up for the next, when people come along with the survey and they're like, hey, how you feeling about the financial outlook? They're like, I am ready to go.
I'm buying premium noodles this year.
All right, Thomas, finally on the show, those pesky North Koreans are up to mischief again. What are they up to now, those cheeky so-and-sos?
Yeah, well, apparently they've been launching hot air balloons carrying loads of trash.
Yes.
And just floating them over the border into South Korea and just dropping bags of trash across the country.
Right.
Yeah. They get quite far south.
Say what you want about North Korea. They know how to shit stir. They are experts. You've just got to respect, I think you have to, just how few shits were given when the decision was made to send trash balloons over to South Korea. That is let's do this.
Yeah.
Can you imagine an Australian government taking that kind of action? Heads up, New Zealand. Here's some rubbish.
Yeah, just the defence consultants looking at the ROI on bags of trash into New Zealand. Yeah, and heaps. I've got a map here. So the chart we're looking at is a map of reported landings, and it's saying this is just what's been reported, and there's probably heaps more. But it goes well south into South Korea. Yeah, and they've reported over 5,000 bags of trash in the country now.
Yeah,
so apparently, and they're causing all sorts of trouble because airlines are now having to launch with more fuel in case the airways get interrupted by bags of trash floating across the airport.
And they were worried about space junk. This is like low-level space junk.
Yeah, but then some of the bags of trash land on power lines and start fires and stuff. So
yeah, that's not ideal. I had a quick look. The bags contain traces of fertilizer, batteries, cigarette butts, clothes, soil, plastic bottles, toilet paper, waste paper, and vinyl, but presumably not like 70s classic hits vinyl.
Vintage vinyl. ABBA's greatest hits. Take that.
So just general waste,
household waste. Yeah. They didn't really look like they were like trying that hard to gather it together.
Although plastic bottles, like, joke's on you, North Korea, 10-cent refund.
10 cents in South Australia. Are we floating your way soon?
Keep them floating. Keep floating them south.
The thing with this is that this comes in response to South Korea launching their own balloons over the border with propaganda and fashion magazines and USB sticks with K-pop.
Yeah. So, like, I think in this isolated example, right, if South Korea are sending balloons filled with propaganda and K-pop, then fair's fair. Like, you send us trash, we'll send you trash. Like, this has got suburban neighborhood dispute written all over it. The escalation of this will be someone will set fire to a bag of poo and float that over the border, and then when they try and stamp it out, oh no, I got poo on my shoe. I think they've. I don't know the extent that they were sending the K-pop. If that's but I feel like this is a tit for tat thing. I did see the North Koreans called them gifts of sincerity.
Yeah, how good's that? It was like Kim Jong-un's little sister or something is in charge of defense or something. That was her term. Gifts of sincerity we're sending back. These
are the same kinds of jobs that we'll be creating within our government to keep the unemployment rate. we need someone on trash balloons. We've got the flag sorted out. We're gonna need a trash balloon administrator. All right. Hey, that does it for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. Really great to have you back listening to CVE again in 2025. We look forward to bringing you more great shows each and every week. As we say, please spread the word, tell your friends. Or leave us a review wherever you're listening to this podcast. That really helps us out a lot as well. You can, of course, email us, cve@equitymates.com, or via the website, equitymates.com/CVE, or hit us up on Instagram and Facebook @CVE Podcast. But other than that, that is all for us from this week. We look forward to talking to you again next week. Until then, it's bye for now.
Comedian V Economist is a product of Equity Mates Media. All information in this podcast is for education and entertainment purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional finance, legal, or tax advice. The hosts of Comedian V Economist are not financial professionals and are not aware of your personal financial circumstances. Before making any financial decisions, you should read the product disclosure statement and, if necessary, consult a licensed financial professional. Do not take financial advice from a podcast. For more information, head to the disclaimer page on the Equity Mates website, where you can find ASIC resources and find a registered financial professional near you. In the spirit of reconciliation, Equity Mates Media and the hosts of Comedian V Economist acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. We pay our respects to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people today.